Hi there. We are so excited to welcome you to a conversation about how to survive summer work. This is an opportunity for a couple of learning specialists to come to you and talk about tips, advice, and encouragement for the summer work blahs.
So this is Paige Sullivan. I'm a learning specialist in the middle school.
And I am Tracy Weldy, and I am currently a learning specialist in the upper school. And so, as we start this, we just wanted to have it feel as a conversation between all of us. And so, Paige, if you could get us started on just tips and ideas as you even begin the summer.
Great. So assignments will be posted to Schoology normally at the beginning of summer break. So after exams, sometime in that first week in June, is when they will be posted. That's when you need to go out and purchase books. Consider some audio versions in addition to paper text.
So, Paige, I have a question. What is the benefit of an audiobook?
Good question, Tracy. So, an audiobook to listen at the same time that you're reading the text in front of you can help you with comprehension and keeping up with what the storyline is in the book. And a lot of students benefit from it. Not everybody, but some do benefit from it. So, the next thing you'll do is read through each assignment fully and understand the end goal. So, looking through that Schoology assignment, what is your teacher asking you to do by the end of the summer? Also, to print any documents that you need. So, maybe printing out that assignment, any questions that you're going to have to answer, that kind of thing.
So, Paige, how do you create the right environment for studying?
That's a good thing. So, you need to study in a quiet place, but also have a paper calendar. It's where you break down those assignments and display it at your workspace, but also in a common space in the house. So maybe on the front of the kitchen, in the kitchen, on the refrigerator is what a lot of parents do.
That's where I put my calendar
Is it?
for all of my kids. So, yes.
I put a lot of stuff on my fridge too.
Yep.
Another thing, setting that schedule. Kids do not naturally set those by themselves. Parents, you may need to help out a little bit there, and that's okay. You know what your family's vacation schedule is, when kids might be going to camp, doing other things, so you can help them decide when should we devote some time to reading a book or taking care of other assignments. The other piece is to find that quiet spot. Just like during the school year, kids need a designated, quiet, clutter-free space to work.
And if your kids are anything like my kids, their bedrooms are not necessarily that quiet, clutter-free space for work. My kids have clothes all over the floor and piles on their desks. And so, coming to you as a parent who has kids that are doing summer work, I always ask my kids to come downstairs where I can really create that spot that is quiet. They know that when they come to the desk in the office, that's where they get work done. Their bedroom is where they have free time and where they relax. And so sometimes there's just a mindset about where you're going to get the work done. So as we transition now into more content driven subjects with summer work, Paige, if you could talk to us about what math looks like.
Great. So in the middle school, we're kind of lucky. Math is optional. It is highly recommended by the teachers to help kids have some review before the school year starts, but it is technically optional. Kids will not be required to turn anything in to their teachers when they come to school in August. Since it serves as a review and a refresher, it's best completed late in the summer, right before starting classes would be my best recommendation. Also, to not do it all at one time. Don't try to crank it out all in one day. Do a little bit at a time and then maybe redo some problems a few days later in checking your answer. See if you're getting the same thing both times. Now, this is middle school. Tracy, upper school, that's different, isn't it?
It's a different ball game. Yeah, and math is required. And so you see the list of courses here. Other courses may decide to do summer work. So if you have an upper school student, we just highly recommend that you double check Schoology and make sure whether or not your child has to do some math summer work. Again, this is something that's going to be posted. It would be great if you could print it out, maybe print out 2 copies, and make sure that your child does their math summer work.
So English language arts happen in both middle and upper school, but Tracy, can you start breaking that down for us?
Sure, I would love to. So most of our students are going to read at least one, maybe 2 pieces of literature. And so the idea with language arts and reading is that you're doing this regularly. And so we want you to break down the reading into chunks. And it's a good idea for you to sit down with your child and set goals and say, in the next 2 days, I want you to read these 3 chapters. Really line it out for your child, setting goals as to how much needs to be done when. You don't want to spread out a book over the entire summer. Set a goal. A book should be finished in about 2 weeks. And so if you have more than one book, really chunk that out, setting the deadline on that paper calendar and say, by this day, this book needs to be done. And then in addition, another book for the, 2 or 3 weeks down the summer. So here we have our recommendation for audio versions again. It is a good idea. It's also great if you're traveling that the whole family listen to the audio version while you're traveling. But the key is that you follow along with the printed version, because we talk a lot about active reading strategies.
So do you really need to use any kind of active reading strategies in the upper school? I know we teach those in the middle school, but do upper schoolers really use those, Tracy?
Absolutely, 100% yes. We talk about annotating all the time in the upper school. And so, annotating simply means to mark up what you're reading. And so using highlighters, you could use colored pens, you can use sticky notes, but as you're reading, you're actively doing things, highlighting characters' names. You are putting a star by something that you think is really important. We talk about adding a sticky note at the end of the chapter that has a list of characters. And then on another sticky note, having a chapter summary. Your student will most likely either have to write some sort of response or take some sort of assessment based on the reading. And it's a great way to refresh your child's memory if they have those sticky notes and they can go back and read that chapter summary. So we ask that you refer to the written assignment regularly because you need that big picture. If you're reading a novel for rising 9th graders and you know that you're looking for 1 or 2 particular things, it's important to refer back to that so you know what you're supposed to be looking for. And then finally, this is a suggestion that we have about considering joining a small group where students can discuss their reading progress, start working on the writing together with an adult facilitating.
Do kids really need to be a part of a group, though, to read a book over the summer, Tracy?
They definitely do not. So please hear us say that this is just a suggestion and that there have been students in the past that have joined a small group. We have a list of teachers from the middle and upper school that would love to set up small groups with students that want to get together, kind of like a book club, talk about the stories, and start really planning out the writing. So this is optional, but it's a great idea.
So then we're going to go into the history department and modern languages, which is really specific to the upper school. So Tracy, I'm going to let you take over here.
Yeah, so we have a lot of history department work. So if you're taking any AP classes, you're going to be doing a good chunk of work over the summer. So it's really important that you stay on top of it and that you don't wait until the end. I think of AP Government in particular. That is a year-long course that we offer over a semester's time in the upper school. So it's really important that students are working consistently and regularly on their AP courses. And then trying their best to really stay organized, because when your first day of school hits for these AP classes, you really hit the ground running. And so taking good notes, having things annotated is a really good idea. And so modern languages is also unique to the upper school where there's mandatory summer work. So all of the modern languages do have summer work packets that they give the kids. And so these are some tips directly from the teachers. Unlike some of the other subjects that we talked about, like math, it's really important to space out the work for the modern languages. Plan on, every Tuesday at 6 o'clock, you're going to pull out your packet and do 1 page of work. That way it's, that repetition is happening regularly, and that helps you maintain that language. Most will have an oral presentation that's due at the beginning of the year. So practice those out loud. Make Quizlet or flashcards for all the vocabulary. The work is pretty vocabulary intensive. And so this is your time to really start to work and memorize vocabulary. And then remember the honor code. A lot of kids are doing the modern language packets, and just remember to do your work. And then finally, a fun tip from the teachers, they suggest that you watch some shows or listen to music in the language you are learning, and really challenge yourself to see how much you're picking up on and have actually learned from the language. So, Paige, do you have any online resources that you like in particular that you want to share with the parents?
We have several listed here. My favorites personally are Course Hero. It's used often for literature. Not every book is going to be on there, but it's easily accessible online to be able to have some little summaries and videos on the books that you're reading. Another one is Khan Academy. Lots of quick videos to help with math and science. These others, Tracy, you want to speak to those?
Sure. So CUDA Math is something that we use in directed studies in the upper school quite a bit. So if you're an upper school student, there's a lot of math practice that you can participate with CUDA. Quill, if you have a writing assignment, Quill is a great place where you can do some practice, throw in a paragraph. It's going to let you know if there's any errors, any grammatical errors, mechanical errors type of thing. Love a little extra Duolingo or Rosetta Stone. And then for my upper school kids, College Board website has a lot of practice tests. And I know when we get back in the fall, by October, we're usually all taking PSATs or the SAT. So if it's a rainy day, you have nothing to do, why not do a practice SAT?
All right, so I think that's it for us. Thank you so much for hanging with us and listening to our spiel. Tracy, you are not going to be a learning specialist next year.
I am not. I'm moving on to be the director of auxiliary programs. I've loved my time being a learning specialist, and I'm leaving the upper school in great hands with Adam Batesel. So if you have questions or you want to follow up from this Schoology podcast, feel free to follow up with Adam.
And I'm staying in the middle school, so you're still stuck with me here. For those of you middle school parents, you see both Adam's email and mine. Those are the best ways to reach us over the summer. Phone will not be the best, but emails we should be able to respond to you when we're not on vacation. So everybody have a wonderful summer, and thanks again.
All right, bye.